Welcome to another episode of The Grail. It is number 25 today. Can you believe it? Episode 25. I want to thank everybody for their support. I want to tell you right now, I have launched the new podcast network, cactusradionetwork.com. You can hear all the podcasts there, or you can just keep listening to wherever you listen. Thank you for the support. Subscribe to iTunes and my YouTube. Everything helps. I also want to thank everyone for the 50,000 Instagram subscribers. Rocking. All right. You know how I love leather, and I love rabbit holes of diving down the internet and finding stuff. That kind of world of like, where is this made? Who did that? But years and years ago, there was a belt floating around in the Bay Area motorcycle community called the Filigree Belt. And I was obsessed with it. I loved it. It was one of the coolest belts I ever seen. And it was, you weren't going to go up and ask somebody that had one, hey, where do I get that belt? That's just not what you're going to do. So you just needed to be around cool people and eventually figure it out. Thank God for 415 Clothing and 415 Leathers. I quickly figured out where to get one of these belts. And then over the period of time, I found an Instagram, MB Leathers, and found the person that made this belt. And so it's a great team, 415 Leathers and MB Leathers. Awesome. So right away I was like, I need to have this guy on the show as I started looking at his Instagram. His name is Mario, and he moved here from Switzerland, and his story is incredible. He came to America with 2 suitcases, one with clothes and the other one with some tools, and bam, decided to start his new life after having a terrible corporate job and a bad marriage. He went for it. And that is always my favorite story, the grind. MB Leathers is his Instagram. Do yourself a favor and follow him while we're talking and see some of this man's incredible stuff. Motorcycle saddlebags, vests, all kinds of hand-tooled seats, anything leather. This guy is killing it. Handmade right here in California. All right? And a great, great human. Killer guest. Great story. Get into it. I loved having him on, and I have 2 of these belts now. I'm that kind of guy, okay, I got to get a different color. I got to get a different version. I just love all the stuff he does. His striped motorcycle vest knocks me out. Check it out. MB Leathers on Instagram or mbleathers.com. Mario, you are a king of leather. Here we go. Candles are lit. Enjoy episode number 25. All right, here we are, another episode of The Grail, where we bring you all things handmade. Fantastic guest today. Introduce yourself, my man.
Hey, I'm Mario. I'm the owner, creator, main slave at MB Leathers. Moved here in 2016 from Switzerland to work for a so-called world-famous designer in the leather business. Turned out not to be such a good experience, and since 2017 I'm doing my own thing.
Who was it that you came out for? Can you not say?
No, I don't want to talk bad about people, but it's a repetitive pattern from that guy. I got fucked over really badly. At the end of the day, I lost all my life savings, and I ended up with $20 in an empty warehouse of my friend. Slept on a couch for like 4 months. Sold my motorcycle I had and my car, and I bought 2 sewing machines, 2 work tables, and started from scratch.
Damn.
First September 2017 was that.
And then just started making stuff and trying to survive.
That was exactly how it was, yeah. And then start building a customer base again. I was pretty well known in Europe and the go-to leather guy. And then that other dude hired me, and we had he was pretending to have a whole different plan, management buyout and stuff like that. But there was no follow-up, and I lost like a lot of money.
You still got your skills.
Got my skills. I mean, I came to America with 2 suitcases.
Wow.
I had like 1 suitcase with clothes and 1 suitcase with hand tools, and that was it. That's how I started.
How did you start doing leather? I want to give people a little background on you. I was cruising around Instagram, which is the greatest advertisement app on the planet.
It totally is, yeah.
For people that are craftsmen and builders and makers and artisans and all that, it's unreal what I find out there. So I'm stumbling across, and I see this FX RT, or actually it was a Dyna. It was the, let me see which one it was. It was the one with the bags that you put Louis stuff on.
Oh, the Louis Vuitton, the murdered Louis Vuitton Dyna, the burgundy one?
Yeah. So it was I'm stumbling across, and I go, whoa, look at these saddlebags. And I used to have like 10 pairs of those bags. I would sell those bags. They were, before anybody was replicating them, man, you could get big money for those bags.
Oh, they discontinued them, and you still get big money from them. I never found a replica.
Yeah.
So I had this customer who is a Louis Vuitton collector.
Yeah.
And he had his Dyna and said, dude, I need some badass saddlebags. And can you do anything with that Louis shit? Because I get it all the time. Because his aunt or whatever worked at Louis Vuitton. I said, yeah, so let's do it. So we got a settlement seat, which are not a whole seat, just the seat pen and the foam. They're really, really good friends of mine here in Compton, or where they are. So we got the seat pen and the foam. And we got some Leather Pros. And I ripped those Leather Pros apart. Kudos to the company from Leather Pros. They're also really, really good people.
They're the ones making the replica bags.
They make the T-Sport replica bags.
Yeah.
Best bags on the planet.
Yeah.
So we ordered all that, ripped it apart. Then he sent me those, I think like $5 or $7 grand in Louis Vuitton garment bags it was. Tore it apart and incorporated that with some Italian leather into some saddlebags and some seats. And I also made a handlebar bag, but I never took a picture of that. It was just like doing something out of the box, taking some I say overpriced bougie shit and make some cool shit out of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, and I'm looking at the convertible bags right here, which are unbelievable.
Oh, these FXR bags?
FXR convertible.
It's kind of the same story.
Right. But I mean, I'm just saying, in general, as I stumbled across your stuff, it was always, I thought, the ultimate collab. Because there's nothing I think that's better than biker and baller mixed. Because it's really, to me, there's something to it. It's like, wow, this has some flair, you know? So I saw that and I was like, whoa, what is that?
Yeah, it has pros and cons. It is the ultimate ball, but it's also like kind of punk rock. It's like a kick in the nuts to the guys who are really into like collecting Louis, and it all has to be nice and all has to be accurate and whatnot. So fuck all that.
Yeah.
Just like punk rock it, wing it, and make some rad shit out of it.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. I got a lot of criticism on social media for just like using the Louis Vuitton on motorcycle seats and saddlebags of like the die-hard bikers.
Yeah. Yeah, the gatekeepers.
No, it's not even the gatekeepers. You would be surprised. It's the guys who think they are the die-hard bikers. They bought a Dyna like 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, the Weekend Warrior. Saw Sam Crow. I'm Sam Crow.
Oh, yeah. They saw Sons of Anarchy and all that bull crap. And now they think they're the gatekeepers and the real guys. I don't know. The shit I did, those convertible bikes I did for a guy who runs a motorcycle shop, is in the biker scene like third generation.
Yeah.
His dad is since 35 years in a well-known motorcycle club, so he grew up with that shit. And these guys don't give a fuck. It's just like, I want to have it, I want to do it, let's fucking do it. Like, there is no conformity or whatever. And this is what it's about. It's about fucking freedom, do whatever you want.
100%. I mean,
and for me, it's good to show craftsmanship skills in a different context.
Right.
It's like not the die-hard biker, rough stitching, rough material. It's adapting the fine art of leatherwork towards a different approach and a different crowd. But not everybody gets that.
Yeah.
That's the sad part of it, because nobody knows leather. Nobody's educated in leather. Not very much people can distinguish between a $200 belt and a $30 belt.
Right. Well, I've always said that, when somebody goes like, oh man, you bought some boots for $1,000. What a loser you are. I get mine down at Walmart for $60. And it's like, I don't even waste my time trying to educate them anymore. But there is certain people that know, and I'm definitely one of them. So when I saw this stuff on your Instagram, I was like, oh, I got to have this guy on the show, because I know high-end stuff a mile away, and I know stuff that is kick-ass.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, and I've been around the scene my entire life, and I love all different eras of the biker fashion, starting in the late 60s of the kind of Grateful Dead hippie / biker, into the 70s kind of 70s biker of the Easy Rider kind of phase, even into the 80s wild era of like bigger jackets and all that. And then we slipped into about 15 years, 20 years ago of more of kind of a cross thing of like, say, white sneakers and a semi-hip-hop meets biker.
Yeah, when the young crowd came across,
right.
Like first of all, the younger generation came into the clubs, because if you look back like 15, 20 years, nobody gave a flying F about riding a motorcycle or being in a motorcycle community. That came later.
Right.
I mean, kudos to that TV shows and whatnot that gave the whole industry a little push, but that was the young crowd and stuff like that. These were the white sneaker guys who set the trend for the people who are running around today.
Yeah. Also, what really started hitting was wheelies and incredible riding that was coming around. All of a sudden, it was like, whoa, these dudes can ride a Dyna or FXR as good as a sport bike.
Oh yeah. But you have to see the, how you call it, the depth of it, like that wheelie game, and riding that. That's old shit.
Oh yeah.
But everybody thinks like oh, this is the new shit and whatnot. No, like everybody was doing wheelies and all that shit like 25, 30 years ago.
Oh yeah.
But it was not as public. So
right. Instagram.
Social media played its role with it.
I mean, if you watch History of the Chopper, you can see the guys wheeling and everything.
Exactly. And that was, the History of the Chopper was what, like 10 years ago?
Yeah, maybe longer.
Or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But it goes way, way back. There's pictures from people in the early 80s doing wheelies on rigid bikes, rigid shovel heads and shit like that. But people nowadays, they forget the history of it. And this is what I love with California. Coming to California, being at the core of it,
ground zero.
It's unbelievable. Coming from Europe, where the biker community history is way different than here in America, especially in California, it's just like mind blowing. You run into people like JD, rest in peace, good guy who built like Steve McQueen's Indian, and who was the gatekeeper of Steve McQueen's cars and bikes. He was best buddies with Kenny Howard, aka Van Dutch.
Yeah.
You run into guys like that and you're like, holy shit.
Old Bud Eakins squad, all those guys, And also, really, to me, I think the heart and soul of other than Sturgis would be the Redwood Run. You know,
Yeah.
if you look at the history of the Redwood Run,
Oh, hell yeah.
that there's nothing fucking cooler than the Redwood Run to me. You know, it was just like there was nothing wilder than the Redwood Run. Of course, you had Sturgis. The old days it was wild, but now it's a corporation. You know,
Same like Daytona.
yeah,
It's the same thing. Yeah.
But I'm talking about riding up through the redwoods, being out on a river, fucking camping and going crazy.
That's it. I think that's what is the essential of riding a motorcycle. But so many people just forget about it. Motorcycle is the ultimate freedom. It's just like you're not like surrounded by the scenery or whatever, divided from it by a windshield or by a window. You're in it. You smell it. You feel it. You freeze it. You're getting hot. You get shivers.
All of it.
Whatever it is. What I do not understand is like I like to ride, so like I rarely have time. I mostly work 7 days a week, but if I take off, I take off. I do like at least 600 to 700 miles a day, mostly like 1,000 a day. Like
Some iron butt shit.
I don't think it's iron button nowadays anymore. With the new bikes, there is no iron button.
I know, right?
It's so
You can
comfortable.
just keep going.
It's so comfortable,
I know.
exactly. But like guys like don't ride to the fucking pizza spot.
Yeah.
Like save that gas. Like take off on a Friday night, get on a bike, don't have a destination, get your sleeping bag, and get the fuck out of there and just like fucking ride wherever you want to ride.
I had no car. I had no car.
Yeah, I bought my first car 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And I bought a $200 Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
But I bought my first bike 3 months before I moved to California, and my bike was already in California before I arrived here. So I was the last 5 years on the bike constantly.
Yeah, I didn't have a car for 25 years. I did almost 4,000 stand-up shows on a motorcycle.
Badass.
I'm talking rain, sandstorms, boiling hot, freezing, snow on the Grapevine, anywhere I was there, and I did it, man.
Do you regret it?
Do I regret it? No.
Not a second, right?
Not a second. And
that's fucking life.
Yeah, and I've rode all over America and seen it all. Matter of fact, I got ran over, so I had to get a car because I had neck surgery, man. I was fucking some dumbass lady ran me over, hit and run.
Yeah.
But I had never really even seen places before. And now I'm in the car and I'm like, whoa, look at that. Because I was riding. Just looking. You're paying attention when you're riding. So no.
Oh, you have to be super focused.
Yeah, you get fucking totally.
Otherwise, you're done.
Yeah.
Nowadays in traffic. But on the other hand, also what I realize is like the whole, how you call it, the whole prerogative that people tell you it's dangerous to travel by yourself on a motorcycle, and America is dangerous and whatnot. I really have to tell everybody, the day I moved here, I worked till Fridays at a company I worked before, Fridays like 12 o'clock, and I rolled out my motorcycle packed, and I rolled out for the weekend, and I came back mostly like 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, straight from the road.
Yeah.
And people ask me, where you been? And I was like, I was in Utah, and I was in yada yada, and I was here and there. I was like, what? Like, what did you do? Like, it's dangerous. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, Americans are amazing people. I never had a negative experience, and I ended up in some weird places, like 3:30 in the morning in the darkest part of Oakland at a gas station. Not a problem. I call it the tweaker triangle between San Luis Obispo and Salinas.
Oh yeah.
Like at 4 o'clock at a gas station in the morning.
Zero.
It looked like straight out of a Quentin Tarantino movie, but I never had any problems. People were always polite. I think if you travel on a motorcycle, it's a different approach. Like people like, oh yeah, you're traveling on a motorcycle.
Yeah, mad
cool bike and
respect.
what. So and then you start talking and whatnot. I think motorcycles bring people together. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Truly believe that. I mean, some of my greatest friends are from motorcycle,
Yep.
Riding over the years, all my life. Now, let's get into this a little bit. I am a leather freak. I've always loved mostly motorcycle leather, starting back with the early 50s of Buco leather jackets, getting into Langlets, getting into Schott, getting into Lewis, getting into all of these different amazing early people in the motorcycle leather world.
Yeah.
And then later on, trying to find stuff that fit nice and slim and look cool, and then seeking out custom stuff. And then meeting people over my lifetime, like a Paul Cox and all these people.
Paul is a hell of a good guy.
He's a god, man. He's on the show, and Paul Cox is unreal. So I don't know what your background is, but how did you get into leather at a young age? Was it biker stuff, or what was it?
Paul Cox.
Paul Cox.
No, it's his fault. So I have a whole different background. So I grew up in different countries around the world. Came back to Germany. Have a university degree in construction, and was working in the construction industry as a manager of a construction company. But I always was creative, like playing the guitar and drawing and stuff like that. So, and I was always like, I grew up with motorcycles. So I got my first little motorcycle at the age of 8. I bought my first Harley when I was 18, which was pretty rare in Germany.
Yeah. What was it? Sportster?
No. It was a FLH. 1972 FLH.
Well, Chevel.
Shovelhead. Yeah. And I was 13 years in a motorcycle club in Germany, like bad boy motorcycle club, whatever you want to call it. So the motorcycle was always part of my life through my dad, who was hugely addicted to motorcycles too.
Yeah.
So then the creative side was there, but you also have to make a living. Then the university master degree and all that shit came around. And I was always reading Easy Rider magazine, of course. So and then in, I think it was 98 or 99, I saw Larry's bike, like Indian Larry.
Amazing.
His personal bike, Grease Monkey, and it was like voted, I think, like chopper of the year or chopper of the decade. I'm not sure. So I saw that bike, and I saw the Question Cross hand-tooled seat that Paul made.
Right.
And it was like, oh, shit, this is exactly what I want to do. Long story short, I had a good friend who was a knife maker, and he had a basic starter kit for leather tooling. I asked him, hey, give me some leather and give me those tools I want to try. So he gave me those tools. He gave me the leather. I freaking hated it. It was the worst experience of my life. It sucked so badly. I hated it. I threw it against the wall and gave him that shit back and said, how can you, this is fucking gnarly. It sucks. I hate it. Like never again. But it kind of stuck in my head, and half a year later I asked, like, there has to be something to it. Like, come on, give me that shit again. So I started slowly, trial and error.
Were you trying seats?
I'm just trying to start with some tooling. I get to that later. So just to do some tooling. And then I was like, I was married at that time. And we always wanted to go to New York because we were all over the world already for vacation. So I said, hell yeah, go to New York. So I wrote Paul Cox an email.
Yeah.
And we flew to New York for vacation, and I showed up and knocked at his door and said, hey, I sent you an email. Show me your shop. Show me shit.
Yeah.
So he let me in. He was very, very polite and respectful. He showed me around for 10 minutes, and then he escorted me out the door. That was the one. Bye, see ya.
Yeah.
Right? Because at that time, which I did not know, the whole biker build-off and that whole stuff that was like going on here in America was unknown in Europe.
It was huge, so he's super busy.
I did not know about all of that, and I thought, oh, he's kind of reserved, and he's kind of, I don't know what it is, but we kept contact, and Paul became a good friend. I invited him to my show. He stayed for nearly a week in Switzerland, and my art show I did back in till 3 years ago or 2 years ago, the Art and Wheels Basel. and throughout the years, whenever I had questions or whatever, I can call him, and he is on a different level.
He's a god.
He is on a different level. Like whatever he does, like knives, metal, like to me, he is the only guy in this whole industry, not even the motorcycle industry, art, craftsmanship, who is probably the legitimate, how you call it, inheritor or whatever of Kenny Howard Van Dutch.
Yeah,
Like Paul is like, blows my mind. He has a solid educational background also in graphic design and arts, which he studied, but he applies it on a whole different level.
Yeah, it's like him and Jeff Decker are these lunatic creative superstars.
Yeah.
To me, when I look at
Jeff is a funny guy too.
fuck yeah, Jeff is a god. But when I, like they come to my shows and they're like, dude, how do you write those jokes? How do you do that? And I'm like, how the fuck do you bend metal and make a goddamn Springer front end and then, or create a bronze in front of Harley Davidson that's a zillion feet high? So we all have different skills, but I fucking love dudes like Paul Cox, and he is just a soldier, just there, New York City, grinding it out.
He just moved.
Moved
like 2 years ago. He has a good deal up the Delaware River. Like, I'm so happy for him.
I know.
But imagine this: like, you're just a regular dude in Switzerland, right?
Yeah.
So you do leather as a hobby, and you're just doing your thing. And when I started, there was no YouTube channel. There was no books. Nobody did that shit in Europe. There was only one guy, and he was a total prick.
Yeah.
Like he was super arrogant, and he didn't show anybody anything. So when I started, it was only trial and error. So it was school of hard knocks. Like, you throw more away and you practice more than you even put out for anybody. So down the road, I don't know. For me, it just like, I still have to wrap my head around it. Then I'm like being invited to the Moon Eyes Hot Rod and Custom Show in Yokohama.
Amazing.
With my work, and having a booth next to Jeff Decker.
Wow.
One of the artists I admire the most. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, am I dreaming? Is that fucking real? So that's like, I don't know. And it's the same with from Europe moving to California. It's like, okay, I made that decision to, I had this corporate life. I had that miserable marriage. I had this whole fucking thing where I nearly lost my personal fire. And I have this burning passion inside of me. I made my leather business a main business in Switzerland before I moved here, a few years before. But then taking that ultimate step to, okay, fuck it, 2 suitcases, and I'm going to go out and I'm do or die.
I love that. That's how I did with comedy.
Like
44 years old. Fuck it, man.
Yeah,
I'm
going
to do this. Yeah, I'm going all in. You can't get anywhere without going all in. That's what I love about your story. It's like miserable job, bad marriage, and living in another country, and you're like, you know what? I'm alive. I've got my health. Let's try something new in life. And most people will not do that.
Yeah, it's called being comfortable.
Yeah,
and
golden handcuffs.
I hate being comfortable. You have to you have to be comfortable with not being comfortable, so to say. And the thing that always was in the back of my head at that time was, how do I feel if I'm staying here, I'm retired, I'm sitting on the couch with 65, and I ask myself, what would have happened if I would have tried? Oh yeah, and this would have sucked.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it was easy. I had like some really, really dark and miserable times.
Same here.
After losing everything. But I also have to say I had like 2 people in my life who were and still are like supporting me like emotionally and whatever it is. It's unbelievable. And these people, like, they always checked on me when I moved here, other people I know through all the people in the chopper, dyna, motorcycle industry that came visiting me in Switzerland and in Europe, it was all good as long as I was over there.
Right.
So, if you come over here, we're family, gonna hook you up and whatnot. So the day I came here, like, you know how it is in the LA area, so nobody gives a fuck.
Well, you find out real quick, especially in the pandemic. During the pandemic, let's see who calls each other during the pandemic to see if you need anything.
Exactly.
Hey, man, I knew a buddy of mine who was a mechanic, owns his own Porsche 911 shop, and I've only known the guy a year. In the first fucking month of the pandemic, he brought me over bags of groceries and toilet paper. I've only known this guy a year.
Yep.
And I was like, you find out who the real soldiers and good friends are.
Yeah. You cannot cheat the grind. That's what you have to do. You have to encounter hardships, and you have to spend million hours on your trade and your craft, and
There's no back door. There's no back door.
No, there's only the grind.
That's it. There's only the grind, dude.
Yeah.
You're so right, man. People come up to me and they go, man, how'd you get somewhere so quick? And then I tell them, first of all, that's an insult, because what they're saying is like, oh, you must have had some kind of trick. You know what I mean? And then you lay it out. You go, well, every day you got to work 7 days a week. You got to write jokes. You got to podcast. You got to send emails. You got to perform every night. You got to hit every open mic. And it's no girlfriend, no weed, no video games.
Yep.
It's straight up blinders and go for it. And then they just look at me and they go, oh, and they walk away because they're like, fuck that.
Like who was it? I don't know. Some. I think it was like what's the Brazilian soccer player?
My buddy Ian would know.
The super famous Brazilian soccer player. He said it took me like 17 years and like 8 months to become an overnight sensation.
Yeah, right.
So that's exactly what it is. Like, you're just like doing it and doing it and doing it, and you're grinding and you're working, and maybe you get recognized. That's maybe. Or you're just like doing it and doing what you love
and being happy.
Yeah. And it has nothing to do with financial success, though that would help.
Let's talk a little bit about, which I fucking love. I think that the biker community doesn't get enough glory on some of the incredible fashion that has been created since the beginning of the biker community. I mean, if you just go way back and look at early photos of bikers and how cool they fucking look, that stuff is still going on right now. And they created these killer looks, you know? Even if you looked at Marlon Brando in The Wild One, let's just say, or Dennis Hopper in Easy Rider, just these looks.
Yeah. And
the clubs in the 70s, you know, I think some of the best looks of bikers was the clubs in the 70s. You just go like, wow, look at this look, you know? But like, for instance, this belt that I wear and that you make, that specific belt is so iconic to me, to California biker, you know?
Yeah.
Do you know the history on some of this stuff? Like, who was the first to have that? Was it all back into tooling of saddles, of horse saddles and stuff?
As I know, the Filigree Belt, the inlaid belt, as it's called, that's an old biker thing.
Yeah.
And if you look back, that high fashion adapted from every angle of life, and especially from far out there, like societies or surroundings or whatever you want to call it, is like leather jackets. They're iconic since the 50s.
Of course, we know that.
Like Armani makes biker leather jackets.
It's hilarious.
Hermes makes biker leather jackets, and then they come out every 4 or 2 years with a slightly changed pattern. Say, oh yeah, this is the new.
Yeah.
Oh fuck no, it's
well,
not.
Schott invented the the cross zipper.
Exactly.
And they are the ground zero of the biker leather jacket.
And then you're looking at the Buco jacket, the classic, like
The best.
straight
Deep pocket.
cafe racer thing. And,
the J100. Unbelievable.
And all that stuff. So fashion is always influenced and always inspired by
Underground.
and underground.
Yep.
Exactly. Like punk rock, heavy metal,
Grunge.
grunt, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So the Filigree Belt is, to my knowledge, is a thing that was brought up or started in Europe by some guy in a certain motorcycle club.
Yeah.
So this is how it started, at Filigree Belt thing. It was pretty popular, and then it kind of disappeared. And I saw one day and was like, oh shit. And that was when I was starting doing leather work, like 22 years ago. It's like, oh shit, like how do they do that?
Yeah, right.
And I had a good friend who was in a motorcycle club who did a little leather work just for his club brothers and whatnot, and he showed me how to make it.
I fucking think it's the greatest belt ever made.
It is different, and it's not like just a shallow easy tooling and whatnot. Like, but also this said, like there's some companies out there who are copying my stuff right now. I'm not claiming that I'm the originator of that, and there is no copyright, so go ahead, do whatever you want. But I kind of figured out how to make it with a certain quality and a certain depth.
Oh, it's got a 3D look to it.
Exactly.
That's what you have, proper depth. And what you're doing is you're starting with incredible leather. So you have thick leather that's giving that window an actual, it looks 3D, man.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm doing it. And there's people out there who say like, oh, your belts are too heavy. No, fuck no. Like, you're wearing a holster or you want to give that belt to your grandchildren, that's the belt.
Yeah. Well, also, we talked right when you got here. I have one, and I also have a lot of my clothing. I would say 90% is made in Japan because it's the best shit on the planet.
It is, no doubt.
I love Japanese craftsmanship.
Boots, jackets.
Jackets, and then
Wallets.
I love, Horween leather. I went to the Horween factory in Chicago. I interviewed the family.
Awesome.
They're, 3, 4, 5 generations or whatever they are, and I am obsessed with leather. And I know one thing, if you wear that belt you make, it feels thick as shit now. But in 2 years, it's going to be like butter.
Exactly.
From sweat and work and bending and grinding and, airplanes and motorcycles.
Just wearing it.
Man.
But that's what people do not understand.
Yeah,
People
they
say,
want instant gratification.
We were that before. There is no instant gratification. You cannot cheat the grind. Just like... wear it.
Yeah.
Wear it. Earn it.
Yeah. Earn it, man.
Earn it.
And then, like, people look at, I showed you that one belt. That thing, from Japan, from the Flathead, which is an incredible company.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they made my wallet here, which is Shell Cordovan. Look at that. That's fucking sick.
It's super nice, yeah.
Super nice. But all that shit is rock hard when you first get it. And then it's like, all right, let's battle this thing.
Let's put some work in it.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it,
Yeah.
There is a lot of companies out there who have that fake patina.
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
I mean, there's some things. I have a customer who is an avid motorcycle collector, and he owns like Elvis Penhead and shit like that. So I did some saddlebags for him where I used a heavy grain buffalo and then I artificially aged the leather.
Right. Well, that's to match a bike.
Exactly.
That's different.
And I put like artificial aged studs on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a white elk skin seat, but also aged. But that's one in, I don't know.
And that's hand aged.
Yeah.
I mean, there's companies now that have like machines. They put some denim up, and then a thing like fucking whips the denim. Kang, and then they wash it with rocks,
angle grinder, and sandblaster.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I tell you, man, that belt knocks me out. Now let's talk a little bit about, man, this vest you have with the prison stripes is so fucking cool.
Are you talking about the black on black or the black
and white?
The black and white?
I love the black and white and it has the vents in it. This one, it's Louis and white perforated leather.
Oh, yeah.
This thing is unreal, man. Now, I love these vests. The vests it's your classic motorcycle club vest.
Yep.
But I love them with no neck. It's my favorite, so you can wear a hoodie with them.
Yep.
And, man, your vest looks great. The black and black one is unbelievable, man.
The story behind that was like I once saw a picture that was in, I think it was 1959, the, what is it called, Blackbird Cafe or something like that.
Right.
In Life or Time magazine, where that photographer photographed in Time or Life magazine. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's a whole series on Getty Images, which are not published in the newspaper. But there's also, I stumbled across some pictures somewhere, and a guy was wearing a black and white striped vest.
Wow.
And I don't know if it was a prisoner jacket, the sleeves cut off or whatever.
Yeah.
But you remember Lee Marmon was wearing the striped surfer shirt.
I remember it.
In the wild one.
And that was considered a biker shirt. Like bikers wore the stripes.
Exactly. So that's an old thing, the striped shirt. And that was the first time I saw a striped vest. And I was like, and it was more of a joke.
Yeah.
It was more of a like, oh, okay, I have to do it just to, because you cannot reinvent the vest.
No.
There's very, very good and reputable companies out there making vests.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about Espinosa's here in Rosemead.
Oh, yeah.
They're in the business since nearly 50 years. Eric and Gilberto, I love these guys.
Yeah. Also, there's a guy in New York, Lost Worlds.
Yeah, Lost Worlds.
Holy shit,
awesome,
Stuart.
Awesome.
This guy makes a
awesome
horsehide,
quality.
4-ounce horsehide.
It's like awesome quality.
Dude, it is insane.
I know. So I do not want to get in the vest business as like cranking them out, manufacturing or whatnot, and sell like 1,000 of it.
Yeah.
I want to do custom, but I have a pretty good manufacturer in downtown LA. So I said, I took my pattern and I was like, let's do it. Let's do a black and white. So we did a white canvas and we put like black stripes in it.
Oh, this one here is just unreal.
Yeah,
I'm on his Instagram.
That's the one. That's one of the first ones. So I made a limited edition of, I think, like 20.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And most of them I gave out to a couple of friends. Oh, that's a fucking cool idea and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, and all of a sudden there was a demand for it, and I was like, oh shit. So doubled up, and I thought like, okay, the black and white. So how can we make it a little more looking less prison, more high end?
Right.
So I came up with a black on black stripe, the 187.
It's incredible.
And that was a pretty good seller, though I had the first run was a limited edition of only 35, but I then had to manufacture another 100. So there's only 135 out there.
They're so amazing.
So, but it's an old game. The classic biker vest is a Levi's denim jacket where the sleeves are cut off.
That's it.
And shortened by an inch.
That's all it is.
So I don't try to reinvent it. I just try to make it different.
Yeah.
And just look cool and also provide people with a quality that lasts.
You know, another thing I'm obsessed with, and I have a messenger bag, and it's camouflage leather.
Oh,
camouflage
I
leather.
love camouflage leather.
There's nothing better. And so when I saw your
on a knife sheath,
yeah, camouflage leather. I wore camouflage leather pants for years. I lost 40 pounds, so they didn't fit, and I sold them. But camouflage leather is some of the greatest look ever. And man, when it gets old, you can't even believe how fucking cool it is. And a camouflage leather vest, unreal.
so just for explanation, there's like two types of camouflage.
Right.
You have a manufacturing leather, which has a lower quality, lower price, where the camouflage is printed on.
Yeah, right. I don't like that.
So, but you can feel that it's kind of plasticky and whatever. And then there's only one or two tanneries in Italy making that.
It's exactly where it's from.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Italian.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw a guy make a couch. It was $20,000.
Yeah.
He made a couch out of the camouflage Italian leather.
I freaking adore it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, this is kind of win the lottery type of shit. When you go into a guy's house, you go, is that a camouflage leather couch? You're like, yeah, that's what that is.
If you look way back 2 years on my Instagram, I made a baseball shirt in camouflage leather, and that's that Italian camouflage. It has a super nice waxy feeling, and the color is not on top of the leather. It's actually it's a special dyeing process in the leather.
I think I've got a picture of mine, and I will show you my pants. I know I have a picture of my pants.
But camo leather, that's the thing. But the real good camo leather, you don't find it on every street corner. You know where to have to get it.
Yeah.
There's only one spot in LA where you really can buy the real one.
Right, exactly. And that's where this guy gets it. That was making my stuff, you know.
And they also make they make garment weight, but they also make like a heavy weight. You can make belts out of it, or heavy saddlebags or stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some of your saddlebag tooling is unreal. You pulled up on your bike today, and I saw your saddlebags. Just unbelievable. The flaps are hand-tooled. But this one with the California is so insane. The green bags with the California right here.
Oh, for shuttles in the Bay Area?
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's actually a funny story because like, when I moved here, like those Leather Pro saddlebags from Gary, like they were unknown in Europe. So you come here, you fairly know about the club style.
Right.
And then you see those T-Sport bags and they fall apart and they're old. And Leather Pros makes the unbelievable, perfectly thought out, badass quality replica bag.
Right.
So, but people scratch the lids or tear them up or have an accident or whatever. So I had to replace those lids for somebody, and I was like, or he approached me and said, hey, can you replace those lids? And I was like, hell yeah, I can replace those lids. And I was like, oh shit, why don't we put some designs on it? So I probably was the first one in the world like coming up with that idea to replace the lids and making them hand tooled.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm always experimenting with colors and dyes and paint and mixing shit together nobody normally would mix together. So I'm probably able to match 99% of all bike paint jobs. So I tool the same panel they have on the bike paint job on the saddlebag lids.
Wow.
And then I hand paint them, dye them or whatever to match the bike's paint job or do some complete crazy stuff. I have some red and gold at the moment in the making.
Unreal. And I don't know if I was the first, but I feel like I was. I had a T-Sport early on, and I had Hot Dog. Instead of everybody was riding black bikes, murdered out. So I went full blown gold sparkle and painted 666 on the Dyna T-Sport fairing. And it was known as the 666 bike. Yeah. And that kind of created this wildfire of high metal flake sparkle T-Sports.
Panel.
Yeah, and man, this bike, I mean, it went crazy in the internet world. And still now, it still does. People go, was that your bike? And I go, yeah, that was my bike. I got offered so much money for it that I just was like, ride it away, buddy. I mean, 35 grand or something for a T-Sport, you know? But it was done right, it had the paint, it had Olin suspension.
Pete is a hell of a painter.
This guy's a god. The guy's a god.
Yeah. But I think like that whole metal flake panel shit.
It's over now.
It's like worn out. Like,
Oh, no, but I mean, I'm talking...
Go to a paint shop and ask him and say, no, get the fuck out of
I'm
here.
talking about 2006.
Oh, yeah. That's when I did it. That was the beginning.
That's when I did it.
That was the beginning of it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's when I did it, man. 2006, and it was, I did the rims gold, and it had Olin suspension, and it had, full on 15-inch risers and a big motor kit.
Done right, 95 kit and shit.
It was great, man. Now, let's tell everybody, I want to give everybody your Instagram because I want to explain this belt. The belt I have, it's black leather. It says California in it. It's hand-tooled, and behind it is red gator.
Yep.
Real alligator, man. And it is a lifer belt. It'll be the last fucking belt you wear. And his Instagram is MB Leathers. That's the letter M and then B and then Leathers. I want you guys to go to this and follow him and get something from this man, because these type of people are few and far between. So one day you're going to go, I should have got one of those belts, and you're going to be like, I'm fucking out now, man.
I'm never going to go out.
I know.
No, hell no. Till the day I die, I'm not retiring.
Good. And you can get hand-tooled seats for your bike, and this isn't all just biker stuff, man. I'm telling you, you can get all kinds of rad shit. He does bags. He does wallets.
Ladies' handbags.
Ladies' handbags. Yep. And amazing. And the combo of the Louis and the leather could be my all-time favorite. There's just nothing I like more than this, because I love, sometimes I like to see a dirt bag walking through the airport with a Louis bag, and I'm look at that fucking guy's
punk
winning.
rock.
Totally, dude.
Punk rock.
Totally, man.
Mötley Crüe flying in their own private jet.
Yeah.
And it's painted black.
Totally.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, are you a big music guy?
I used to play guitar. I'm into music. I'm not up to date at all.
Right.
But if you ask me about the new wave of British heavy metal when I was 12 and 14, I'm all about it.
Hell yeah,
all
dude. Saxon, except Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
Come on, dude.
And
There's nothing better than Saxon, denim, and leather.
Anthrax,
Anthrax.
DRI,
Yeah.
Slayer came later. All-time favorite band is ZZ Top.
Oh,
Because
man.
I met those guys.
Yeah.
So back in Switzerland.
Yeah, Scott's a great friend of mine. Anthrax is just unreal. Among the Living record is a masterpiece.
Yeah,
masterpiece.
It is. Absolutely.
Masterpiece.
Absolutely.
And you can here's what I want to tell people. A lot of musicians listen to this. I recommend the belt I wear, get a guitar strap done like that with whatever you have, your band name, your name, fuck you in it, whatever you want. This is just a great guitar strap.
Here's a little secret. I made like 2 belts for Lemmy.
Oh, really?
Oh, hell yeah. Lemmy. A good friend of mine is Pascal from Riff Raff.
Yeah.
And Pascal was a long-time drinking buddy of Lemmy.
Yeah.
And then he stopped drinking, but he was still making Lemmy's boots. They were close.
Oh, those boots are amazing.
Oh, yeah. Pascal,
Right?
he is on a different level.
Yeah.
He's such a sweetheart. So Lemmy, that was probably 2014 or something like that.
Yeah.
He was in Switzerland, so I made him 2 belts and I hung out with him for a day.
Whoa.
That was just like 3 weeks after his hernia surgery or something like
Right.
that. So his health was already declining and whatnot, but
Did you make him this type of belt? With
the Filigree belts. He has like one that says Murder 1.
Oh, that's his amp or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Murder 1, and the other one was, what was the other one? No, it was one that says Murder 1. I don't remember what the other one was.
So cool,
So he really liked it.
Yeah.
But this said, dude was a badass, yes, but I've never met a more polite and soft-spoken and politically educated man than Lemmy. It's unbelievable. I had this perception in my head that he's like,
Yeah, you think he's going to be like, hey, but he doesn't. He shows up. He's like, hey, how you doing?
No, he was like super cool.
Oh my God,
he was the real deal.
Long live Lemmy, man. Long live Lemmy, dude. That's so cool. You made him some belts, man. I love your stuff, and I'm so glad that you came to do the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
I was like, I've got to have this guy on, and shout out to all the great artists we talked about on here. Everybody like Jeff Decker, Paul Cox. Shout out to 415 Leathers and everybody out there that is into this stuff that we're talking about. And look at this hand-tooled wallet. Your stuff kills me. Hit his Instagram, man, and enjoy this stuff. And thank you for tuning in. Once again, his website is mbleathers.com, and his Instagram is mbleathers. And I cannot thank you enough. And I love my belt, and I can't wait to get another one from you, man.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks a lot. Much appreciated.
And you got to come out and see some comedy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay,
anytime.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Grail. Keep rocking out there. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and also check out my new podcast network now, cactusradionetwork.com, for all of my podcasts. I've got The Grail. I've got the Let There Be Talk. I have the new one with Mark Maron called Dark Fonzie, and I'm producing Byron Katie's podcast called At Home with Byron Katie. They are all at cactusradionetwork.com. Subscribe everywhere. Watch on YouTube. Do whatever you got to do. Spread the word of this homegrown network. Candles lit.